Hello everyone, Sylvan Bard here, and welcome to some more of Easter-Riffic Month. Well, I've gone over a couple of Easter TV specials, but now I'm going to review an Easter movie. However, many of them are about Jesus' crucifix and resurrection, or centered around that time. And there's not a lot that deals with bunnies, eggs, and candy. Fortunately, there is one. It comes from the creators of Despicable Me, but it also comes from the director of Alvin and the Chipmunks. And this film is a live-action animated hybrid known as Hop. A rabbit named E.B. is the son of the Easter Bunny, who wants him to take over as the next Easter Bunny. But E.B. only wants to be a drummer for a rock and roll band, and decides to run away to Hollywood, where he comes across a man named Fred O'Hare, who's out of a job and can't seem to get any work. But as the two get to know one another, they try to help out each other with their problems. And in the meantime, the Easter Bunny's second in command, a chick named Carlos, is trying to take over as the next Easter Bunny. Now I have to say, for a movie like this, it could have worked as a good film. Not so much when one half is better than the other. The animated portion of the film is pretty much okay. There's lots of color to its look, the characters and their own stories are adequate, and there's a likability to it that would work if it's its own film. And the animation itself is pretty decent, whether in live action or not. But there is one part that struck me as familiar. It's when Carlos takes over and switches the baskets of eggs and candy with worms, birdseed, and grasshoppers. Can you guess where this alludes to? Yep, the film references Irontail's saw number when he takes over in Peter Cottontail. How unusually fitting? However, the live-action portion is not that strong. I mean, there are one or two moments that I like, but most of it is really odd and sometimes awkward, and even questionable at times, like why Fred's family needs to read statements off of papers when they could have just said them, or why Fred isn't allowed to go upstairs in his sister's boss's house, or why a few people aren't so surprised at a walking talking rabbit when Fred gives the reaction. Even David Hasselhoff as himself doesn't question it. But at least he gives a line that kind of works. The one part that I find interesting in this film is that there is a Christmas motif going on here. And what I mean by that is how some of these ideas are similar to Santa and the North Pole. The chicks are like the elves, the Easter Bunny rides a sleigh, and the rabbits and chicks live on Easter Island as like their North Pole. The differences are that there's no naughty or nice list, and there's a generation of Easter Bunnies. Yeah, we'll get to you. And the actors, both vocal and on screen, are pretty much okay as well. James Marsden plays Fred O'Hare, Russell Brand voices E.B. / plays the production assistant, Kaylee Coco plays Sam O'Hare, Hank Azaria voices Carlos and Phil, Gary Cole plays Henry O'Hare, Elizabeth Perkins plays Bonnie O'Hare, and Hugh Laurie voices E.B.'s dad. As a whole, this movie is fine. The characters are okay, the story is good for what it is, the animation is decent, and the effects are pretty good. Director Tim Hill made an Easter movie that is colorful to look at and presents a fun look at Easter with a touch of a Christmas motif. But the live-action portion is just a bit odd and sometimes awkward, and doesn't stand out as much as the animated portion. Yet the animated part is just okay, despite its colorful look. But I wouldn't mind seeing it every Easter since there is a charm to it with all the Easter goodies within the first and last act. Yet altogether, it's just okay. So today, this movie would be given a rating of 2.5+ stars. So thank you for joining me. Like, comment, subscribe, follow me on Facebook or Twitter, and tune in next Wednesday for more of Easter-Riffic Month. The Easter Bunny is coming to town. S.D. Kluger comes back again, but this time to tell a story about the Easter Bunny named Sunny, who was found and raised by children of the author and his widow at the time of the book's release. It's a fun fact I like to bring up. A boy named Ted lives in a place called Thneedville, where everything one hand. Hello. Hello everyone, Simon Bard here, and welcome to some more Easter-Riffic. Okay. Now I have to say, for a movie like this, it could have worked as a good film. Not so much when one half is better than the film. No,